me. And now it's time for this afternoon session of Children's GBC with George Buxton, as he gets to present some programmes today, including a special Bookaboo episode with Michael Rosen this time. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Children's GBC on a fine Monday afternoon. Well, I don't know about you, viewers, but we have loads of your favourite programmes coming your way. And we're going to kick things off with Sodor Railway Tales. And today's story is called Mike's Whistle. Well, I've never heard of Mike. Surely it can't be a tank engine called Mike, can it? I reckon this must be from another book from a railway series. Anyway, you'll find out in this story of Sodor Railway Tales today.
Mike's whistle. One morning when he arrived, Duck's whistle was out of order. We don't approve of his sort, do we?
And just a reminder that tomorrow morning that Drawbridge will be carrying on broadcasting the 80th anniversary edition of Sodor Railway Tales, and it'll be Book 20, and that's tomorrow here on Children's GBC. And that was Sodor Railway Tales. And when I say that, and I already meant to say it was the original version, not the 80th anniversary edition. Now, as you probably just heard me from me during the end credits for that particular tale that you just heard, yeah, Sodor Railway Tales 80th anniversary editions will be here tomorrow morning. But back to today on Children's GBC, and speaking of stories, now, here's an episode of Bookaboo. And I think that this time that we're going to have a very special guest who will be reading Bookaboo a certain story. Well, and it's none other than Michael Rosen, which I've heard he reads famous poets, including the famous one, Chocolate Cake. But I don't think Chocolate Cake will be in that episode, though. And even Drawbridge, however, and if he's watching this right now, well, Drawbridge, if you like Michael Rosen, then this episode of Bookaboo is just for you, my friend. Enjoy the episode, folks.
He's a real rock dog and he plays the drums in his rock and roll band. He tours the world in his Bookaboo box to beat the screaming fans. He's on the cover of every magazine there's ever been. The story is there. Oh yeah.
A story a day, or I just can't play. Once upon a time. Can't stop. I'm hard at work. Have you read a book today?
Was Bookaboo. Well, mind you, I'm so glad that Bookaboo has enjoyed having Michael Rosen's company. And if you're wondering what today's story was, it's called The Night Pirates. Mind you, I've never heard of that story before, but I'm so glad that Michael Rosen came to see Bookaboo. Oh, and if my friend Robin is watching this, well, Robin, I hope that you enjoyed that episode, and I know that you'll probably see that episode again when I show you that when I come round to visit you for some time. But right now, it's time for our next program now, and it'll be Bertie the Bat. And I think that we're on to the fourth episode up, by the way, and I wonder what Bertie is up to. It must be something to do with clouds, I should have wondered. But anyways, here's Bertie the Bat anyway. Episode 4.
One of Bertie's best friends is the Cloud Spinner. He's smallish and rather anxious, and he will keep saying sorry for some reason. Step this way, please. Just through here. Don't drip over.
And that was Bertie the Bat. Yeah, so there was one person who is very apologetic. Yeah, because I'm the only one there. I know I'm not meant to apologise too often, but it's the only way just to avoid making mistakes. And anyways, now moving on to the next programme now, and here we have, once again, we have our double bill of The Amazing Adventures of Morph. And if you're wondering what episodes are we on? Well, we're on episode 9. That's the first one, and of course we'll have episode 10 and that'll be the 10th episode of Morph in just about 5 minutes. So, enjoy the double bill.
One day, Morph had a brainwave, and he brought it in to show the others. One day, everyone else had gone out. Gillespie was meditating, and Grandmorph was having a peaceful nap when... Good night, Morph. Sleep tight. Now go to sleep, both of you.
That was The Amazing Adventures of Morph. Well, I'm so glad that Morph always gets up to some various adventures. And I couldn't believe that on episode 10, when Grandmorph, however, was being taken Morph and Chaz to put into his own box as his punishment. Yeah, that'll teach him a lesson or two. Anyways, now moving on to the next program now, and I believe that this time that we're going to have Brum. And today's episode is all about a removal van. And will Brum be moved out to Big Town, or will he just stay there if Brum gets picked up by mistake? Well, we'll soon find out, won't we? And that was Brum. Well, I'm so glad that Brum has managed to get back to Big Town, as well as heading back to the Motor Museum. Yeah, so that's where Mike, who was the museum owner, who was a nice man, which you probably saw on the Scrapyard episode. Well, luckily, I think one of his friends had to get him back to Big Town, although he would have been moved far away. That would be a bit disappointing. So, anyways, now, the next program now, if you remember, on Tuesdays for when George Buxton used to broadcast some Bertha episodes for one that he's currently doing, well, I just thought I'd just get that episode of Bertha out of the way. And I think that we're going to talk about windmills today, and I'm sure that George Buxton would have loved to have me broadcasting the episodes, only if we never get round to finish the series. But anyway, here's a repeat episode of Bertha, and today's episode, The Windmills.
Bertha, lovely Bertha, you are a lovely machine, and anyone who works with you will know just what I mean. Whoa, Bertha, lovely Bertha, sometimes I think you're a dream. When we work out what you have to do, you can always turn the goods out, always turn the goods out. We can depend upon you. Clicking in the day, flashing in the night, your computer is shining brightly. Some people say you have a mind of your own, and I think that's very likely. Oh, Bertha, lovely Bertha, sometimes I think you're a dream. When we work out what you have to do, you can always turn the goods out, always turn the goods out. We can depend upon you.
It is lunchtime at Spottiswoode and Company, and Bertha has stopped work. Tom, the robot, is cleaning. Actions on the box.
Whoa, Bertha, lovely Bertha, sometimes I think you're a dream. When we work out...
I'm so glad that they've learned on how to follow instructions from now on. And just a reminder for tomorrow morning, George Buxton, however, will be presenting some more episodes of Bertha, which is happening tomorrow morning here on Children's GBC. And that was Bertha, the repeat episode that you probably saw about last couple of weeks ago. Well, that episode was repeated, but don't worry, I'm sure that George Buxton will be back again broadcasting some more episodes of Bertha tomorrow morning, as well as the other one that I mentioned about earlier. So anyways, back to today. On Children's GBC now is the Dino Babies. And today's tale is all about scare busters. You know, a bit like similar to Ghostbusters in general, but only without the ghost on it though. Just scare busters. And as they say, there's something strange in the dino world. If you got scared, who are you gonna call? Scare busters!
Dino babies playing in the prehistoric sand. Sometimes Truman tells his stories to the Dino Baby clan. Dino babies make believe they could be anyone. Dino babies having fun. Franklin's shy while Stanley thinks he can do anything. And baby brother Marshall tries to get into the game. Dak the pterodactyl baby flies through in a whirl. Dak is making trouble in the Dino Babies world. Dino Babies on the run, run, run. Dino Babies on the run. Maria, Dino Baby girl, likes to talk it out. She helps Truman with his stories, which puts Truman in a pout. Dino Babies romp beneath the prehistoric sun. Dino Babies
the Dino Babies. Well, I'm so glad that they've all enjoyed being Ghostbusters, only when it's called Scarebusters for obvious reasons. But anyways, that's Dino Babies, and hopefully the Dino Babies should not be scared ever again. So anyways, the next program now is everyone's favourite cartoon, Bucky O'Hare, and I think that today's episode is called Creation Conspiracy. I don't think I've ever seen this before, and I bet you've never seen that either. Only back then, but when you were a kid in the 90s. Well, here's that episode to find out why it was called Content Creations Conspiracy. Enjoy.
In another dimension, another time and space, a parallel universe is falling on its face. When out of the chaos, who else could it be but the animal adventurers from SPACE? Bucky! Captain Bucky O'Hare! Mutants and aliens and toads beware! You're looking for adventure? Well, this is it! With Jenny, Deadeye, Blinky, and Willie DeWitt, I said Bucky! Captain Bucky O'Hare!
And now an update on Bucky O'Hare of the Toad Wars!
In the battle of the Anniverse, you don't know what's next. You only know amphibians are made it complex. When you check out your scanner and the evil that it poses, there's only one course of action.
Let's cook us some toads!
Bucky! Captain Bucky O'Hare! He goes where no ordinary rabbit would dare. If your righteous indignation has suffered a hit, and your photon accelerator's broken a bit, and you're losing your mind, and you're having a fear, get the funky fresh rabbit who can take care of it. Bucky! Captain Bucky O'Hare! You say Bucky! I said Bucky! Bucky O'Hare!
Let's croak us some toads!
Think we'd have let him send us into space? Sheesh.
In another dimension, another time and space, a parallel universe is falling on its face. When out of the chaos, who else could it be but the animal adventurers from SPACE? Bucky! Captain Bucky O'Hare! Mutants and aliens and toads beware! You're looking for adventure? Well, this is it! With Jenny, Deadeye, Blinky, and Willie DeWitt, I said Bucky! Captain Bucky O'Hare!
And now an update on Bucky O'Hare of the Toad Wars!
In the battle of the Anniverse, you don't know what's next. You only know amphibians are made it complex. When you check out your scanner and the evil that it poses, there's only one course of action.
Let's cook us some toads!
Bucky! Captain Bucky O'Hare! He goes where no ordinary rabbit would dare. If your righteous indignation has suffered a hit, and your photon accelerator's broken a bit, and you're losing your mind, and you're having a fear, get the funky fresh rabbit who can take care of it. Bucky! Captain Bucky O'Hare! You say Bucky! I said Bucky! Bucky O'Hare!
Let's croak us some toads!
And that was Bucky O'Hare. Well, I'd like to say for the first time ever that we actually get to see that episode. Yeah, I guess that the old Toad and the Bucky and his gang, let's just say, I think they were shocked at the end. And guess what? The old Toad, as said, sheesh. It's just a sheesh, you. Hey, I didn't mean it literally. Anyways, now the next program now is The Legend of Treasure Island. And I think today's episode is called The Watchtower. Well, I may have heard of the clock tower, but I've never heard of the Watchtower. But anyways, enjoy this last program for today, everyone. was Legends of Treasure Island. Right, so now we get it for why it was called a watchtower. But anyway, so that's the cartoon. Well, that's it then, viewers. Sadly, that was the last programme for today on Children's GBC this afternoon. And don't forget, now, George, however, my good friend, will be here tomorrow morning to present 5 programmes. And yes, including Bertha, that's when we are going back to normal. And the same with the 80th anniversary editions of Sodor Railway Tales, so don't miss it. And I will be back again tomorrow afternoon with more programmes. And yes, dare I say it, some Shoe People episodes and a few others. Okay, oh yes, and some new episodes of Titch as well. Ha ha ha, bet you thought I was going to do that mean thing again. Not this time. Well, not until tomorrow anyway. But anyways, I'll see you again very soon. Probably tomorrow, no doubt. Bye-bye, everyone. See you tomorrow morning. See you tomorrow afternoon, I mean. This is GTV. And now it's time for the penultimate episode of The Birdie Show. And there might not be any bad language as such, as it's just only the penultimate Bernie.
This is the small house where everything is peaceful there. Everything is all wonderful up until one day something strange happens. Those pesky Muppets just turned up. So, here comes the Bernie gang, crazy and laughs. They do some stuff is what they can do. Bernie, Yo Bro, Daddy Punch, and so many others. He and his mates all knew what's coming. The gags, the craze, something that everyone can't lie to make them laugh. So because of their own silly lives, it's all happening here on The Bernie Show! The Bernie Show.
Oh, hello again, Mr. Witt. Oh, hey, Bernie. What episode number are we on?
Well, I believe we're on episode 23 of our 6th series.
Wow, we've never reached 23 episodes before. Yeah, bye.
Bye, bye.
Well, it's that time again to see.
And just a reminder about tomorrow afternoon that The Bernie Show, however, will be on its 24th, but ultimately the penultimate episode of The Bernie Show, when really it will only be the last ever show of The Bernie Show, in which Bernie will be ever doing. Oh, and that's because the Bernie gang are inviting Andy Besson to join for one last song together, and it's all about helping hand. So, will it be a success for tomorrow afternoon? Well, you'll find out tomorrow here on GTV. Carry on singing, you two.
To bring in some Bernie too. So we sing the Bernie blues, and that's there for all of us to know. Hell yeah!
This is GTV. And just a quick reminder about Children's GBC. Now, on Wednesday, that Board and his new friend Betty will be presenting some programs together. And I'm sure that will be making a nice change. And hopefully, Board should clear out his smelly armpits. I do not. Anyway, that's on Children's GBC. That's on a Wednesday morning or afternoon. Yeah, that's probably depending on the day, though. But anyways, back to today. Now on GTV, Neighbours.